Welcome to another beer with Raggy. I do apologise, got right itches. I've been in an area with wildflowers and they just seem to have spikes on that go through your socks and absolute pain in the backside. So yeah, a beer with Raggy. And in this beer with Raggies, what is the best supermarket beer? And it shouldn't all be down to ABV. It should be down to flavour, aroma and all that. And I think when we look at supermarket beers, the best one, that's a difficult, because it depends on what flavours you like. You know, we all like what we like. Some of us like Carling, Foster's, Coors, you know, Doom Bar, and yeah, some of us like stuff that tastes nice. But you know where I'm going with that. So what is the best supermarket beer? You'll have noticed that from Waitrose I have got a bottle of Golden Pride in front of me. It's now 8.4%. It was 8.5%, but obviously, like a lot of companies, they are, because of government taxation, dropping their ABV just to get under a certain ABV so that they don't get priced upwards even more so. It's sad that any beer has to do that just because of the Conservative government and their greed. They'll call it stopping people from drinking too much. People will do what they like. So, best supermarket beer. My top supermarket beers, four of them sat in front of me. St. Peter's Plum Porter, absolutely top class beer. I would drink it all day long. Titanic Plum Porter, again, the best of the Titanic beers, and on cask it's everywhere. You never see St. Peter's anywhere on cask. What a shame. I've never seen it. Next up, Badger Cranbourne Poacher. Never got to have that on cask either when I went down to Dorset. Shame. Another one that I really, really like, Rigrota. Really like that. I did like 1698 massively, but not anymore. King Goblin. I still think that's an absolute top class draw, you know, despite who makes it. Green King Abbott Reserve. Again, some idiot's going round on one of them blooming noisy motorbike jobbies. Yeah, Green King Abbott Reserve. Again, another belting beer. Adnam's Broadside. Old Tom. Golden Pride, obviously. Fuller's 1845. Guinness. The West Indies Porter. McEwen's Champions just scrapes into that list of the best beers. And as you notice, that the predominantly slightly darker beers, most of them are. trying to think what the other best supermarket beers are. That you see regular. So when we're talking beers, we're mostly talking modern traditional. We're not really talking craft, because you don't see a lot of craft that stays in supermarkets. The stuff in cans seems to come and go at quite the rate of knots, or gets replaced by a different variant of the same beer. The only place where I've noticed that they seem to keep their craft is actually Waitrose. So I've got a can behind me somewhere. Yeah, from Lost and Grounded Brewers. I want to go to the Sun. I mean, that's been around for quite a while. I remember reviewing that a year or two ago. So, and for it to still be in Waitrose speaks highly of Waitrose keeping their beers, you know, in the supermarkets. Craft beers, that is. So, obviously I'm talking about what I like. What is the best supermarket beer? Top 3. Flipping heck. And that is a decision. I mean, years ago, I'd have probably chucked a ginger beer in the mix. But I've really fell out with Crabbies. I'm not keen on Harewood, you know, for what they did to Sadler's. You know, another brewery demised because of greed. And they're obviously the same people that sacked most of Hawkshead Brewery, which then became Lakes Brewco. So, as far as memory serves me right, anyway, whether I'm right or wrong, I'm sure I'm right on that. Sadler's was a good brewery, you know. So, best supermarket beer. Now, on a taste test, 1698 won. But 1698 now is glucose in, and I can taste it a mile off. Whether it had before and it just wasn't visible, or whether they've put more in and it certainly is visible, I don't know. So a real conundrum. Best supermarket beer. I gotta be honest, it's a toss-up between Adnam's Broadside, possibly Golden Pride. I mean, don't forget about Featston's Old Peculiar into the mix. Beers are coming into my mindset all the time. Like I said, I kind of discounted all the Shepherd Neame brand because 3 of their beers I've had, and 2 out of the 3 I could clearly taste glucose, and that's recently. The 3rd one, it masked it very well, even though it said it had it on the can, on the bottle rather. It's difficult, isn't it? You know, to choose an actual beer that you think, and not in a review mode, in what you think is your favourite beer in supermarkets. Anything that lets Golden Pride down, and it's not its fault really, is the fact that only Waitrose can you get it. So if you haven't got a Waitrose in your area, and we haven't, not really local, and certainly not sporadic anyway. Local, you know, not like Morrison's and Asda's and Tesco's and stuff. Waitrose is, you know, there's one and it's in Newark. There's a little dinky one in Nottingham city centre. But again, I'm not going into Nottingham city centre to buy a beer. If I was passing through and, you know, we went in, these bloody flies, then that may be the thing. So it may be that Golden Pride goes to number 4 on my list. Now, I like Titanic Plum Porter, but I do like the earthiness of St. Peter's Plum Porter. And then you've got Badger's Cranbourne, and again, you know, I do like that. I did like Blandford Flyer, but I always thought that was a dark beer with ginger. The last time I had it, it was golden with ginger. And I could have sworn it was dark years ago. Yeah, totally threw me off when it was bloody golden. I'm like, I'm sure this was dark. I'm at a real conundrum. Which is the best supermarket beer? For me, at least. On the craft beer front, literally, there's nothing that stays on the shelf long enough. I don't think any of the Brewdog range or the Beavertown range or even the Northern Monk, who seem to be the biggest non-macro brewery out of those breweries with a massive amount on the shelves these days. So I'm torn now. I've just discounted Golden Pride out of the equation of best supermarket beer, even though I'm drinking it. 8.4% session strength. Fuck off. It's super difficult. It really is, because there are many good beers in that top band of beers. There's plenty underneath, plenty, but there's some great beers that are in that top band. And that's, in my opinion, we've all got our own opinions on what our top beers are. So I think at number 3, number 4 is London Golden Pride. I think at number 3 is Fuller's 1845. Yeah, I think when it comes to beers that I see it, and if I'm going to drink anything, I'd go for that. And I think Fuller's 1845 is just one of them beers that I see, and it ticks the raggy box. Number 2, you'll laugh at this, King Goblin. I still think King Goblin is absolutely amazing. I know it's Marston's, I know they've ruined Hobgoblin, but for some reason they've left King Goblin alone. I don't think King Goblin pays the bills like Hobgoblin does, so they've left it alone. I still think it is one of the best beers. I know who makes it, you know, there'll be haters out there. You're a beer reviewer, why are you choosing them? I do, because I like it. Yeah, it's my opinion. like everybody else's opinion. And number one, I've got to say, it's Adnam's Broadside. I still think Adnam's Broadside is number one. There are some very good contenders, you know, that aren't far off. There's literally micro dots between all the brands. But that's mine. What's yours? What's the best supermarket beer for you? That's the question.